There's a lot of farms and goats. Basically, Lakeville was like this big farmland where you just run around and hunt coyotes, etc.
I heard that the goat farm was pretty much the entire city of Lakeville. There's just roaming goats everywhere.
Although Lakeville was not overrun with goats and people did not hunt coyotes in their free time, today students are very aware of our rural roots. However, some of us may have lost sight of what reality was really like 20 years ago.
I used to have students that would milk the cows and do the farm chores and things. They'd get up at 4 in the morning and do their chores and go to school and then go back to the farm.
Today's kids feel stifled by Lakeville, even with the booming growth of the city. But imagine what it was like before Lifetime, Applebee's, the movie theater, and Target.
And I think the school was more of a focal point for the community. I think the parents were more involved with the schools and attended more things like the plays and a lot of that stuff. Not necessarily for their own children, but, you know, neighbor kids, friends of their sons and daughters, those kinds of things.
Today, this might not sound like the typical teenager's idea of fun, but spending quality time at the school helped build a strong community.
Stand in the hallway and know 80 to 90% of the students.
I think that it was a much more close-knit community just because it was smaller. You knew everybody.
The small, close-knit community is not the only difference. Stepping into the parking lot of the high school 20 years ago may come as a shock.
You used to be able to snowmobile to the McGuire building, and for a while I think they let them do it to Kenwood.
Students work all over the place today, but 20 years ago they tended to stay pretty close to home. Instead of snowmobiling or walking to work, many kids find it necessary to drive.
First started, those kids who had jobs worked at Engren's, they worked at the Erickson grocery store.
This started to change in the 80s when businesses started growing in Lakeville.
Fleet Farm was really kind of the kickoff of that whole thing, and that created a lot of jobs, obviously, for young people as well as adults, too. When Fleet Farm came in, they offered a magnet, in effect, to this community.
Not only businesses came to Lakeville, but industries in Air Lake, the second largest industrial park in the state.
Air Lake Industrial Park was first put in. They put that in with the mindset they were going to drive business out of the Twin Cities area.
With business booming, Lakeville began to grow.
Lakeville isn't a logical place to grow, and what I mean by that is you've got access to recreation, jobs, shopping, and using Cedar Avenue and I-35.
Even though Lakeville was growing, surrounding cities still had their own views on Lakeville.
When we go out of town with my family for different things, either go up to the cabin or just on vacation, and I'd meet people and, you know, they'd ask where I was from, I'd always say just south of Burnsville, because nobody would know where Lakeville was. And we celebrated that whole idea of being Hicks and being in the country. I think that was something that if somebody wanted to label us with that title, we were going to just roll with it. And so, you know, we went with that whole theme of, you know, country boy can't survive.
With changing attitudes and a growing school, some kids got lost in the mix.
A larger group of students that are unknown, so to say.
With a growing number of students and the recent split of the high school, it is hard to know everyone in Lakeville.
I think it's almost impossible right now for somebody to know everybody in their class. But back when I graduated, you did.
Each day that passes, you are less likely to run into a goat or even a coyote, which makes you think, what will Lakeville be like in the next 20 years?